What's up, everybody? I've been working for a little bit now, trying to get my thoughts together for this video, because it's gonna be a doozy, ladies and gentlemen. Where to begin? Well, I did get the new characters. Let's take a look at my party really quick. So I did get a chance to run these characters. Here is my Shin. Let's take a look at him real quick. He is only level 65 out of 80. He has 4 awakenings. He's not enhanced all the way. I still have to get like his best abilities. But I do have to say I'm very impressed with this character. He is an original Last Cloudia character, and he was one of my favorite characters when I first started playing the game. So it only made sense that, I kind of invested into him a little bit. He does a lot of damage. It's really nice to see. His S3 is just off the chain. Absolutely love running this character. I think they did a great job. But I gotta say, actually, surprisingly, I'm honestly more impressed with, no, looks like we put Zexus in the party. I'm honestly more impressed with Guardian Angel Lucio. I just didn't see this coming. I honestly thought this girl would be riding the bench. But no, she's riding something else. This character is awesome. I absolutely love what they did with her. Innocent Judgment, her S4 is absolutely amazing. For me, not having a Dr. Stone character, that's kind of what this character is turning into. She is a healer and support. And what I like about her S4 is, well, she can drop it right when you break a boss. And she can get a bunch of attacks in on that boss, all without really lowering that boss's break bar, because she gets to freeze time. So I just think that's really awesome. Overall, the design, I love this character. Like I said, I didn't think that I would actually be running this girl. And I'll show you guys what I'm doing with her as far as arcs go. Let's see, where is it? I think it was an arc from one of the collabs. Right here. This is the arc that this girl is going to be rocking, because she is going to be applying the name-giving buff. It works out very well for her because she has God Heal. She can give everybody name-giving. She gives them 25% to all their stats. This does take some of her hit points, but because Lucio has God Heal, she can just apply one of those to herself and she's back up to full health. This arc also, it also breaks the enemies. I believe it breaks their defense, so it gives her the ability to buff everybody and throw some sort of break out there. So all in all, this is what I'm doing with this character. Since I don't have a Dr. Stone, I'm trying to make do. Other than that, though, I'm really happy with how she actually plays. I just think she's a great character. Good design. She's come a long way. She's a huge upgrade from her last form. So she will actually be running around in my parties, giving support, throwing heals. I think she plays really well with Roland, since he has God Heal as well. So all in all, I was very happy with the characters that they dropped. So then they started dropping this event, and this thing kind of started unfolding. Let's get into this event screen. There's a lot going on here, right? We started off with the Angel and Fiend, then we got the Fiend and the Angel, and now we have the very last part of this event. And thank goodness they also dropped a boss guide, because I feel like a lot of people were complaining about very difficult bosses, and they just had no direction to go. They didn't know how to tackle some of these bosses. Personally, me, I got up to the demonic face-off here on Nightmare. This is where I stopped, because I decided to go back and finish grinding out the items that I actually wanted. And pretty much because this is a newish account, I've been trying to grind out every single item that, you know, this account or this event has yielded. So that's kind of taken a while. I'm pretty much done with all of the items from this tab. Let's see. I'm going back to the very beginning and finishing some of these items out, okay? And this is where I kind of started noticing the inconsistency in this event. And I think a lot of people are having a hard time with this. And again, this is why they had to release a boss strategy guide. But I got to tell you guys, for a lot of accounts, that's not going to matter, okay? If we go into the extra challenge here, in the first event tab that was released, I mean, how can I sum this up in a nutshell? If you're fighting Shin and Lukiel, it's an impossible fight. But if you're fighting Lukiel and Shin, it's a winnable fight. It makes no sense. If you actually compare these two event tabs against each other, event tab number 1 and event tab number 2, if you actually compare these against each other, their level of difficulty in comparison to each other is just bizarre. Okay, it's like they had two separate design teams working on each of these parts of this event, and these design teams never stop to take the time and actually talk to each other and share information with each other. It just doesn't make any sense. Even in some of the nightmare levels, you go halfway up, you get to the Guardian level. This level, 100 Guardian level, this level is impossible compared to the levels around it, even the levels above it. It just doesn't make sense how the difficulty progresses, right? Here, as you can see, I have no problem clearing all of these. When you get to the Guardian, I'm actually missing some of the, I'm missing some of the little rewards here, right? I couldn't clear this without anybody dying. I've only ran this once, but this right here, this is still a challenge. I know that, even though I'm building my characters. And as soon as you get through this, these other levels above it, which should actually be harder than this, they're all a giant cakewalk. They're simple. You can auto them. So this is just one example. If we go down here to the extra challenge here, this is really sad to me. This is probably one of the worst parts of it. So we have these challenges. They're level 100. It's telling you that you should have a level 100 party, right? This one up here, Beast of the Blue Flame, Godlike. This is a level 100 level. It should not be as impossible as it is. I'm going to tell you guys right now. This one right here, this level 100 requirement, Beast of the Blue Flame, Godlike, unless you have like a level 38 rank account, don't even bother wasting your time here. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've sampled a few vids of people that managed to beat this. In order to beat Beast of the Blue Flame, you have to have 3 characters at level 100, and they have to have between 76 and 82 SC on all of the characters. In fact, most of the characters have to be around 80 SC. That's just the way that it is. This fight is just that hard. The stats on this thing are insane. The amount of hit points on it are insane. And this is really sad because this fight actually yields a 5-star item. It's a nice robe, right? It's kind of a different version of Lukiel's robe at battle start, plus 5% of your intelligence to mind. It's got solid stats on it for what it is, right? This is really the sad part about this. The players that are able to beat this level are literally going to wipe their ass with this item. They're not going to do anything with it. It's going to sit there and ride the bench. It's probably going to be a useless item for them because pretty much only day 1 players and some whales are going to be able to get through this level. All right. which is sad because all of the players that would actually use this item and have need for it, they're not going to be able to beat this level. It absolutely makes no sense. No sense at all. But it kind of gets worse. If we go into the other tab, which dropped afterwards, and we go into the extra challenge in this tab, and we kind of have a look around, this level up here, Fiend and Messenger, a Nightmare, this is actually a level 110 for the level required level right here. So this is telling you that this should be a more difficult fight. It's not. It's really not. But the problem is the only thing you really get for this is some shards. I much rather would have preferred that they put these shards onto that other level and actually let us run this level to unlock the new item. Because I feel like more players can actually beat this level. It says 110, but guys, I'm telling you right now, you can beat this. I've ran this level one time, and I ended up getting it down to 20% of the hit point bar. So this is doable. Even though this says level 110, and the other one says level 100, this one is so much easier than the other one. I got to be perfectly honest here. In this Nightmare challenge here, I can't even scratch this thing. Like, I've read the boss guide. I don't have enough ADSC characters. I don't have any ADSC characters right now because this is a fairly new account. I can't even scratch this thing. Running this over and over again isn't going to do anything. It's not going to yield any different results. I can put up all of the different walls that I want to kind of lower some of the ice damage that I'm taking. I can put up Magic Castle. I can try to break. None of that's going to matter because I honestly cannot even scratch this thing's health with the characters that I have right now. So anybody that's stuck on this, really, really take a look at the item that, you know, they're giving out for this. And like I said, it's kind of sad because the people that can't beat this level are the ones that would actually use this item and have a benefit to having it. Like I said, anybody that's pretty much going to be able to beat this, they're just going to throw that item away. They're probably never going to use it because they have better gear already, because they've been playing since day one, and they have good gear unlocked through Trust Masters and all that stuff. So I honestly feel like I don't know what the design team was thinking here. The characters were great, but there is no frame of reference to power in this event. It's like they had two separate teams work on this, and they never stopped to talk to each other or check each other's work, because none of this really none of this meshes well. This whole account, or this whole event, is just mind-blowing. I stayed up all night just really kind of going through everything in here, trying to get a good scale of this whole event. I've been going back and forth, like I said, because I've been trying to finish up whatever items I can get here. Right, like I think I still have probably 20 or 30 of these power-up shards or items to get from this event. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Last Cloudy, are you blocking me? Ugh. They obviously don't want me to make this vid. Like, alright, uh-oh. We have a communication error. Well, this almost never happens. Yes, obviously, Last Claudia, there was a communication error between your one design team and your other one. Clearly, this just looks like separate people did the work for this event. The other thing, too, is the farming levels. To actually farm the level 100 farming levels that get you the points to go into the extra levels. Here, we'll get back in here, even though they tried to kick our asses out. Back to what I was saying, if you're fighting Lukiel and Shin, it's an okay fight. If you're fighting Shin and Lukiel, It's an impossible fight, and none of it makes any sense at all. Okay, we'll start with the easy fight. Chapter 2. If you go into Chapter 2, Chapter 2 is very easy to farm. If you go into extra challenges, this Fiend and Messenger hard level right here that costs 5 tickets, you can farm this easy, especially if you have the right arc. If you have the dragon arc, you can pretty much bring a mage in here. You can throw a spell, and while they cast that spell, you can throw the dragon arc, and that will kill off Lukiel. And then you just have to fight Shin. It's a fairly easy battle. You can win this thing. It's very farmable. I feel like the challenge level is on point for what it should be, right? Before Lukiel dies, you can throw the Beast Hunter arc to try to, increase your odds of getting more loot. And you can feasibly run this map right here, and you can get about 110 of these coins. It's something like that. Sometimes you're going to get 75 or something like that, but for the most part, you can get almost 100 coins a run here, which is great, right? You can finish out these items fairly easily, right? And then there is obviously the Ravenous God over here. I did beat this thing. We'll talk about that. Thank goodness they came out with guides for these. And you had to beat this in order to get the Paladin armor. You want as many of these Paladin items as you can get. They're not a bad item set. If you're just starting out and you don't have a ton of gear, you definitely want to collect all these items. This is the first set that we've got, and if you wear at least 3 pieces of this set, you get Quick Trigger for free. It doesn't stack with Quick Trigger you already have, but it's still nice to have an ability like that. You might have a character in the future that for some reason doesn't have Quick Trigger. You can put 3 pieces of the Paladin gear on him. He'll have Quick Trigger plus all the other bonuses that the Paladin gear gives. All in all, it's not a bad set. It's really not, especially if you can collect it all and power it all up, right? And like I said, the hardest level here, which is actually easier than most of the levels from the Chapter 1 part of the event. This is just giving shards. We can always grind out shards. It is nice to have an injection of 60 shards given to you, right? That's cool and all, but realistically speaking, that other item that they are offering us should have been the reward for this level, because I feel like players that would actually use that item can actually beat this level. I just feel like I don't know what they did. It doesn't make any sense. So this farming level is doable. You can farm this. It's fairly easy. Well, it's not fairly easy. They will still kill you if you just sit there with your thumb up your ass. Like, you still have to play through this thing. So this is Chapter 2, right? If we go to Chapter 1, and you actually look at the farming level, where is it? Here we go. Disobeying a God hard. Same thing. This costs 5 tickets, right? It's supposed to be the same type of level. It's an upgrade from the low-level farming level. That's only level requirement of 40. If you go into this thing, it is completely different. You can throw the dragon arc. It's not going to do jack shit to them. It's hardly going to scratch them. Now, I've managed to beat this thing a few times. Honestly, just fighting my way through it. It's a long run. It takes a second. The past few times that I've beat this with like 1 character remaining. So, needless to say, the difficulty level for disobeying a god here, this farming level, compared to the other chapters' farming level, they're like night and day. And I just don't understand. Like I said, if you're fighting Lukiel and Shin, it's a manageable fight. But if you're fighting Shin and Lukiel, God mode enabled. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what they did here. I'm going to have to go ahead and say it. Last Cloudia, this is a flawed event. You guys really, really need to rethink just the power level expectation for a lot of these fights, how you're putting this out there, the rewards that you're giving. Like, honestly, this whole Beast of the Blue Flame, this was kind of the biggest upset because, like I said, looking at this item, anybody that can beat this thing, they're probably not going to use this item. Right? But everyone that cannot make it through this level, they could actually use this item. That's just the best way of looking at it. None of the level, the required level things, none of those make any sense because you have a level 100 here that is way harder than the level 110 on the other side. It just doesn't make any sense. In fact, for this one right here, instead of doing Disobeying the Gods and just kind of chancing it every time, almost having to continue, I've honestly I went back down here to the level 41 and I just started farming this. An account like mine shouldn't have to farm the level 40 level in Chapter 2 when I can easily farm the level 100 level in Chapter 1. Or I'm sorry, in Chapter 2 and in Chapter 1. You guys see what I'm talking about. It almost feels like there were two separate design teams. One did this chapter, one did this chapter, and it really just doesn't make any sense. Now, as far as the new content that they released, like I said, I stopped at Nightmare, at Demonic Face-Off. I did run this thing once. I did get an idea for the power that is required, right? I am going to be able to beat this, so, you know, that's not an issue there. But, I mean, what's next, right? The level above this could just be God difficulty. I just don't know. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of people they've kind of been confused at what's going on with these bosses here. And I think that's part of the reason why Last Cloudia had to release a boss guide. You know, the boss guide, honestly, it didn't really do too much for me. I don't know if there's things that they're leaving out of those boss guides. But I've watched quite a few videos on how people are beating these different bosses. There's a lot of healing involved. I even thought for a minute that healing had something to do with doing damage to the boss. In fact, let's talk about that real quick. I believe it was... You know what? It's the giant monster that we fight. I think it was this Nightmare level right here. Where is it? Oh, no. No. It's got to be one of the extra challenge levels. Okay. Yeah, the Ravenous Godlike. People ask me about this thing. I did beat this on, like, my second or third try. Pretty much, my main team, which is all level 100 characters, my main team just got absolutely destroyed. I only did probably an eighth of this boss's, like, hit point pool. I probably only took it down by, like, an eighth. That's how much damage I managed to do to this thing. And it absolutely destroyed my party. My level 96 Milliam, my level, like, 98 Roland, and my Yoda. Like, Yoda was there. He's, like, level 98. He's the most built character that I have. This thing absolutely destroyed all of them. So I went online and I watched some videos of people actually beating this thing. And pretty much they were just healing the whole time. And I kind of remembered that towards the end of my fight, the only person that was alive was Roland. And Roland was only hitting this thing for 1 and 2 damage. I don't know if it was just blocking everything, but he was hardly doing any damage to it. As soon as Roland started healing, his damage went up. So I don't know if this thing had some kind of glitch in it. I already did run into a glitch with one of these boss fights. Pretty much for the first half of the fight, I wasn't able to push any buttons on the screen. My party just stood there and took a bunch of damage. And I got to the point where I was like, is this a new debuff where it locks you out of the controls? Like, so I don't know if there was some kind of glitch going on where I was only doing damage to this thing while I was healing. And like I said, the video that I watched of somebody beating this thing, and this was like a week ago, they were healing the whole time. They were throwing God Heal the whole time when they didn't even need it. Now, I left him a comment, and he said he was doing that to trigger Spirit Breath. I couldn't get any more out of him than that. And again, this was a way to beat it with Zexus. I think he kept healing Zexus just to charge up his moves, which is an interesting way to beat this, because this Ravenous God, this plant monster, it's weak to fire and dark. Pretty much anybody having a difficult time with any of the bosses, the best advice I can give you, because you know what's really funny is this thing absolutely destroyed my main team. And the second time I fought it, I accidentally brought my farming party. Like, I had Shin and Lukiel there, and my rogue, and I brought another Shin. And oddly enough, that party beat it. So, like, my level 100 party absolutely got destroyed. And I think part of it was that this thing can throw some of your spells back at you. That might have been part of it. I did see it reflect Armageddon on me, or whatever that thing is called. But it's just kind of funny, because I at the time I beat this with a level 60 party. Like, Shin and Lukiel were only level 50 and 60 at the time. I did bring another Shin with me that was more powerful. And pretty much anybody having a hard time with Ravenous God, Godlike, to unlock this armor, take a high level Shin with you and just try to help him do damage along the way. There is a 9-minute limit to this fight, because a high level Shin can destroy this thing on his own. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Shin can destroy this thing on his own. My best bet to anybody, if you don't have these characters, which a lot of people aren't because they're non-limited characters, a lot of people are just going to skip them. That's perfectly fine. I only pulled for Shin because he's an original Last Cloudia character and one of my favorites. And I actually pulled Lukiel off of Shin's banner, so I wasn't even expecting to get Lukiel. Thank goodness I did. But my suggestion for anybody having a hard time with any of these bosses is emulate these characters. These events were made to run these characters through. That's the best way to look at it. So, like this Ravenous God thing, it's pretty much weak to Shin. It's weak to fire. It's weak to dark. And you just need a lot of damage to muscle through it. So try to emulate Shin the best you can. Bring your fire, bring your dark. And that's going to be the best way to beat it. If you don't actually have a Shin, try to take a high-powered Shin off of your friends list. There's plenty of them floating around. Like I said, Shin can pretty much beat this thing on his own. I was kind of surprised. You know, so I ended up beating this with a level 50, 60 party when my main party absolutely got wrecked going in here the first time. And I was throwing heals left and right, just like off of that video. So everything came together. I managed to beat this. And this level 110 Fiend and Messenger thing, again, with my level 60 Shin and Lukiel, I managed to get this fight down to like 20% of the hit point bar. So I know I'm going to be able to beat this. This is probably going to be the last thing that I try to beat from this event. We have like 3 days left. When I'm done leveling up all the items, this is what all my free energy is going to be going to. I'm going to be running this thing. Like I said, I actually feel like I can beat this one, even though this is supposed to be the hardest level in the whole event. I've already managed to get this down to the very end of the fight to like 20% health. That's the which is funny because, you know, like I said, on the other side of it, the level 100 boss is just freaking invincible. I don't have 80 SC characters to go fight it. So at least I can beat this. I just wish that this yielded an actual item that I could use instead of more shards, right? So Ravenous God, you know, be careful with this thing. It can reflect spells on you, so you don't want to use spells on it. It can wipe your party. And remember, any status effect that you put on this thing, it can throw that status effect right back in your face later on. I don't know if it does that when it eats some of your characters and spits them out. It gives them the status effect that you put on it. But all in all, it's not the hardest fight in the world. You can figure out your way through it. Just try to emulate these characters, right? And then, let's see. I feel like for part 2, where is the boss here? Where is that damn Azure Guardian or whatever that thing is? It's confusing. Am I even in the right tab? They have scattered these bosses all around. This Ravenous Godlike. Okay, that's the one we just went over. Where's the other one? Demon Messenger. Okay, that's right. That's right. I'm in the wrong tab. We're talking about Luciel's boss. Luciel's boss that you have to defeat in Nightmare. Here he is, the Guardian. I'll be perfectly honest with you. The Guardian, this guy right here, he really mirrors the level 100 requirement boss that I'm not going to be able to defeat. This is like a weaker version of that guy where you have to have an 80 SC party to go in there and really have a chance at beating him. So he's like a weaker version of the final boss to this whole event. This guy drops a barrier that you can only break with lightning magic, and he does that at like 75, 50% health and 25% health. The best thing that you can do is try to bring a break party, get as much ice resistance as you possibly can, get as many different abilities that you can that can dampen magic damage, because the whole time you're fighting this guy, there's a blizzard in the background, and you're pretty much taking ice damage the whole time that you're fighting this guy. When he puts his shield up, you pretty much have to have lightning magic to destroy that shield. Hopefully you can time a break, and you can do enough damage to him when he's broken to get through some of those thresholds. That is what I had to do, right? I obviously did not have the best luck fighting this guy. I feel like he is more challenging than the Ravenous Godlike level. The Guardian is definitely harder, in my opinion, than that giant plant monster that we fight. But he's still killable on this level. I didn't get like a flawless victory or anything, but again, I managed to defeat him with Shin and Luciel at level 60, and I did bring Roland for this one, so Roland could kind of stand in front of him. Somebody had to bring some lightning magic to break this guy's shield. I took a Yoda off of the friends list for that, and pretty much I ended up getting a break on him just in time at the end, and his last 25% of his hit point bar, I managed to do all that damage to him while he was broken, and I finished him off. So that's my best advice for the Guardian. You guys can look over the boss guides, but it's pretty much going to tell you what I'm telling you now. So he's not the hardest thing in the world, right? But when you get to the extra challenge and you fight Beast of Blue Flame, Godlike, that is like this guy on crack. That's the only way to describe it. He is just so much tougher in this, and even though it just says level 100, this thing should honestly say level 120. That's just my personal opinion. And like I said, I stayed up all night watching different vids of people being able to beat this guy in the extra challenge. You do have to have, it's gonna take like a rank 30 something profile. You're gonna have to have 80 SC characters, and it's still kind of a challenging fight. So accounts like mine are just not going to be up to the task of this. And it's really sad, like I said, because this is the one that actually yields the item, and my account could actually use this thing right now. Alb of Heaven. I'm going to have to miss out on this one. It's a sad day when I just give up on a fight, but I've come to realize after running this a couple of times and literally not even seeing his health bar getting scratched at all, that it's just not feasible for me to get through this. I'm better off concentrating my efforts somewhere else that will actually yield me some progress. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to clear this godlike level. If you think you can and you have a lower power account like mine, more power to you. And if you beat this thing, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know how you did it. Because from everything that I've managed to see on YouTube and other people beating this thing, it is a top tier fight. So, other than that, like I said, even the farming level here on this one. Is this the right one? Yeah, because this is the one with the blue flame. Yeah, even the farming level here, if you're having a hard time, just drop down to the level 40 and just spam this thing. It only costs 3 tickets. Yeah, you're only getting like 70 of the currency each time, you know, but that's better than running Disobeying a God and getting wiped and getting 0 currency, or having to pay 100 lapis to continue to get your 100 coin currency. So that's just my best advice for anybody trying to finish up anything on this entire event. As far as the ether coins go, I think everybody knows to use your resets. If you have any of these resets left to reset this thing, pretty much what I'm going to say is this: if you're trying to farm the angel drops, like there's 10 of them for every reset. If you do your first roll and you get 6 or 7 of these angel drops on your first roll, then go ahead and reset the whole event, right? Because then you're going to have to do like 120 more pulls just to get the other 3 angel drops. You might as well reset if you can, you know, and kind of cash out on that. I've obviously used all of mine up. So, yeah, best of luck to everybody. This is where I weigh in on this event. This has been an odd one, boys and girls. I'll be honest with you. This has all been strange to me. I seriously just do not get what they were doing with the power level. It seems like part 1 and 2 of this event are so disconnected from each other. Somebody needs to be double checking these programmers' work, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I can honestly say that this is the first time I've actually ran into something like this in any of the gacha games that I've played. Typically, there's a balance of power when it comes to these games. And last Cloudia just threw that out the window for this event. Doesn't make any sense to me. This is the first time I've honestly seen something like this. I wanted to make this video a couple of days ago, but I've seriously been sitting here just scratching my head. I didn't know how to really talk about this. This is weird. This is really weird. If you agree with me, make sure to like, share this video so that somebody at ADIS might just catch a glimpse of it, and kind of we might be able to get some point across to them that they really need to rethink what they're doing here. It's just strange, and like I said, I've never seen a gacha game have a problem like this before. This is a first. I've never seen a game with such an imbalance of power in one of their events. So yeah, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about this. I still think it's a pretty cool event. I just really think that they could have fine-tuned this a little bit better. Like, yeah, even in the nightmare stuff, like the Guardian level right here, this thing needs to be at the very top, right? It's like once you muscle your way through this and you barely win, you go to the levels after it and you can run through those on auto while you're asleep. So it just doesn't really make any sense. I still don't understand why they did this. You know, and it's not just one level that's out of place here. it's all over the place. There's all sorts of them. So, you know, best of luck to everybody getting through this thing. Honestly, I really think that if you can just get most of the events from this item, you know, excluding that alb that only the, you know, the top 20-30% of players that have been here since day one are going to be able to get. If you can grind out the paladin armor set and like Luciel's items, and if you can get those powered up all the way to 40, you know, I think you've done a good job in this event, and overall you can call it a victory, right? So that's my best advice. Concentrate on that, and on the let's see, on the chapter 1, if you're having a hard time farming any of the stuff, just drop down to that level 30 or 40 requirement level. It kind of sucks having to do that and only getting 60 coins at a time, but you're much better off doing that than sacrificing lapis to continue, or just getting wiped and get nothing. And honestly, chapter 2, this one was a lot easier. Like, and of course, the farming level's easier to run. I managed to, you know, farm out the items from this much quicker, which I guess is kind of a good thing, because this is chapter 2 is the one that yields the paladin items, right? Yeah, like the paladin armor, the leggings, the accessories. So all in all, like, I get it that a lot more people are going to want to build the paladin set. So maybe they made the coins from this extra challenge event more accessible, and maybe they made this fiend and messenger level easier to grind out than the chapter 1 counterpart. I don't know if that's what they were thinking, but I clearly was able to grind these items out faster and more efficiently. So yeah, now I'm going back to finish chapter 1, and it is a lot more difficult. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just strange to me. I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the day, and then I'm going to go back over here. I stopped here at the demonic face-off on Nightmare because I did not have, what is it, Thunderwall? Let's see. Yeah, for a lot of these fights, for that giant Azure Beast, for the end event fight, I highly suggest that, let's see, where is it? What's going on here? Oh, there it is. The button disappeared. I wanted to look at some of the abilities, the skills that this girl has. Thunderwall. Is it Thunderwall? Pretty much you want something to dampen ice damage. Where is it? I know I just taught it to this girl. It is Thunderwall. So for 5 SC, ice damage to all allies minus 20%. That's going to help you with that blizzard, right? And obviously I just taught her Nemesis and Blazer and all this stuff. And weaken, so she can take a bunch of these, so she can, you know, effectively break that boss any way she can. Thunderwall is a must. And where's the other one? Yeah, Magic Castle, right? This is going to give you magic damage reduction of 20%, right? And Thunderwall is going to give you another 20% to ice element. So effectively, the blizzards that this guy is throwing back to back to back, they're only going to be doing 60% of the damage to you. So then they become manageable to deal with. The only other thing I can suggest is, if you do have Luciel, make sure to put this pin on her, the purification pin, because it does cut down on the damage that you take. You're only going to take 50% damage from this event. So the purification pin is kind of a must for clearing some of the really difficult content here. And I'll be honest with you guys, that very end boss, a lot of the parties that I've seen clear that, they're using a high power Luciel. that is fully woke. I mean, I'm sure she's woke um, past the 4 mark here. And she's at like 80 something SC. There's absolutely no way that my Lukiel is going to get to that power level, probably even anytime soon. Um, because I did spend more resources working on Shin. This was really the character that I was running around playing with, trying to review. And ultimately, I did decide to just go all in on a step up so I could awaken him, because I just feel like he's an original Last Cloudia character that I really enjoy. And why not make him relevant on my account? Like, this is kind of a fresh account. I rolled this account when Roland dropped. So there's a lot of room here for Shin to come in here and actually be a useful character and put in a lot of work for me. So even though Shin is only level 65, I've unlocked a lot more of his abilities. He's at 90 out of 102. I still don't have the best stuff for him, but I mean, he's already running around with like 4,700 attack. It's pretty impressive. I absolutely love his S3. It's just so much damage. It's just awesome. And his sprite, 10 out of 10, great character. So obviously, I couldn't invest that much into Lukiel. Like, I'm only human, and I do have other gacha games to play as well and keep up on. I did the best I could with Lukiel, but her abilities, she's only at 58 out of 104. Now, mind you, Lukiel has been there for just about every one of these event bosses that I've cleared. I think part of the reason she's been able to hang in there is because she has that purification pin, and she does get a 50% damage reduction. She's not woke at all. She's not enhanced at all. She's only at level 59, and she's at 58 out of 104 abilities unlocked. This girl has a long way to go, but I'm absolutely smitten with this girl. Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't have Dr. Stone on this account, so I've been thinking for a while of what I can do to try to compensate for that. It looks right now like Lukiel is my best bet. If I put that arc on her, she can give everybody 25% to all their stat buff. Then she can heal herself with God Heal. It doesn't eat up too much of her SC to be able to do that. She also gets to break all the enemies. She gets to break their defense a little bit with that arc. So I feel like I have found the perfect arc holder, and that is Lukiel for that dragon arc. All in all, really happy with her. Very surprised. Love how they did her S4. It's very useful. So I'm kind of like modeling her after Senku. Off of Doctor Strange not Doctor Strange, Doctor Stone. Sorry, everybody. No disrespect. Yeah, I'm modeling her after him because that's really what this account needs. It needs some sort of healer, buffer, debuffer, and she's just really good at that. She has God Heal built in. She has a good AoE heal built in. She has Revive built in. The fact that all those are built in, because I'll be honest with you guys, before I got Lukiel, I kind of had the same idea. I knew I had to make some sort of healer support character. And I was going to try it with Tenkili over here. The thing with her is you have to add all of the healing. You have to add the revive. So I was kind of hesitant, right? I built her up to 60 out of 104 abilities, and she's kind of sat here because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to invest into her to try to make her a buffer, breaker, healer, when clearly she wants so hard to be a damage character, like a dark damage character. So, I stopped there for a minute, and I was thinking, like, I did have an actual better healing character. I had Summoner Lena. I started this account with her. And again, she has all of the healing and stuff already built in. And I really thought maybe, I would take the time to work on this girl, and just give her that arc so she could buff everybody. right? But yeah, I honestly think, I just really think that Summoner Lena cannot hold a match to Guardian Angel Luciel, and it makes sense. This is a brand new character that just dropped. This is the new non-limited meta, and it's pretty impressive, right? It's not just Shin. Guardian Angel Luciel is definitely a monster in her own right too. So that's how I'm gonna be, pursuing a build with this character. Um, I'm just probably going to have to add some breaks to her and then see how I can balance all of her abilities out with the limited SC that I have for her. So that is what your boy's been working on. I'm sorry that this vid took so long to make, but honestly, guys, I didn't know how I felt about this event. I didn't know how to present this. Um, right? I'm not trying to be a Demi Downer. I still absolutely love Last Cloudia, but I think their design team really needs to think about what they've done with this event. It's a good event. It's a great grind. All in all, I just don't think there is any balance of power, and that's got to be some sort of internal thing between all the different programmers that they got over there. I just really think we need to bring this to their attention. This was very strange, and this is honestly the first time I've ever seen anything like this in any of the gacha games that I play. So, if you agree, make sure to throw me a like. Make sure to share this video so that somebody from ATIS may just take a glimpse at this down the road, and they could maybe help address this issue and make sure that we do have some sort of balance of power for future events to come. All right, so the comments are always open. You guys have an awesome day. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, leave me comments about anything. If I missed anything, if I was wrong about anything, please let me know. That's the only way that I'm going to get better, which is why I'm trying to let ATIS know so that they can get better. So, peace, everybody. Have an awesome day.